Hello, this is Decimal, and today I want to talk about Woovebox. Woovebox is a very small, all-in-one micro groove box, and despite its small size, it is very powerful. Quick disclosure, Woovebox was sent over to me at no cost, but the creator of Woovebox has no say in the content of this video. Woovebox comes with a hard case, a quick start guide, a sticker, a breakout cable for headphones / sync out split, and the main unit itself. The Woovebox has a hard plastic exterior that feels solid. The first thing I notice is how small the unit is. I have a Canadian toonie and loony for scale reference. The Woovebox has a 4x4 grid with a total of 16 buttons. It also features a clicky value knob, an LED screen with 8 character slots. It also has a right touch button and a play touch button. The touch buttons will sometimes have a secondary function when you hold and press something else. We also have a MIDI out Type A port, a physical power switch, a line in, and a headphone stereo and sync out split. Also, there is a USB Type C port for charging. There is so much that this little box can do. Just look at this list of features. However, to keep things simple, I'm going to show you how to get started with the Woovebox and make a simple beat with sounds that come with the unit. I'm going to be working in SG01 or Song Mode 1. Since I already have tracks that are filled with steps in Song Mode 1, tapping play will play these tracks. I also want to mention that keeping a quick start guide close by is very helpful while navigating Woovebox. By holding the play button and turning the volume knob, we can increase the master volume. By tapping play, we can stop the beat from playing. To switch tracks, hold down the volume knob and press one of the buttons. Track 1 is the chord track, and it is special because it's the only track that is 4-voice polyphonic. The rest of the tracks are monophonic, which can play only one voice at a time, but these voices can be whatever you want: samples, synth engine, drums, etc. By holding down the volume knob and pressing the 1 button, I go to track 1. Now in track 1, by holding the right button, I can turn a note in the sequence on and off. Now I'm going to track 6, and I'm going to turn off the snares. I'm going to clear the other tracks so we can start with a completely blank sequence. Now on track 1, I can live play chords by pressing the buttons. By holding right and pressing play, I can now live play notes into the sequence. While on track 1, I can turn the volume knob to access other features for the track. The global setting per track are oscillator 1 and 2, filter, pan, pitch, and much more. By pressing down on the volume knob, I can get back to the main sequencer page. And by pressing the volume knob again, it will go back to the previous page I was on. On the pattern page, by holding down button 1, I can now change the setting of the BPM divisor by rotating the volume knob. This is how you can change the value of any setting on the page. Now by pressing play, you can now see the BPM divisor in action, and it increased the time that it takes to get to another step. To plug in some new notes, I'm first going to hold right and remove some notes. Then I'm going to press a new note. After that, I'm going to hold right again and plug new notes in. Now I'm going to change the BPM divisor back to 1 so we can hear the difference. Okay, let's move that back to 4. Now it's time to add a kick. So in track 5, we have this kick drum. I like the C5 kick, so I'm going to plug that in by holding right and entering the steps. Now let's do 4 on the floor. Now it is time to add a snare, which I'm going to live play in. Let's add another instrument. This time, I'm going to show you how to adjust some of the effects on the track. Each track comes with its own reverb, chorus, and delay, along with other settings. By going to the pattern page and holding down a key, I can change the level of these effects. They range from 0 to 127. There is also distortion, saturation, bit crusher, and more. The sonic possibilities here are really endless. I also want to mention the unit autosaves when playback starts and after 8 seconds have elapsed with no input. This feature can also be turned off. It is now time to add some hi-hats. By holding down the value knob and pressing a track, you can solo it. By pressing the value knob and pressing the track again, you can unsolo the track. Now, if you want to switch to track A6 to A8, you need to hold down the value knob and long press the A6 to A8 buttons. To change the BPM, I need to go back to the song's global settings by holding down the value knob and pressing button 16, which is label song. Then I can hold button 1 and rotate the value knob. The lowest BPM is 80. Let's listen to that. The highest BPM it can go is 260. This video alone does not justify what Woovebox can do. I would suggest listening to some of the sound demos on the Woovebox website to get a bit more insight. I am honestly still getting to know the unit, and I'll be making more content diving deeper into the Woovebox in the near future. That being said, I do have some thoughts so far. Woovebox is a powerful little box that packs a bunch of features. Some of these features I wish the Pocket Operator series had. For the price of 2.5 Pocket Operators, I think it's priced really well considering it could do about 10 times more than a single Pocket Operator can. Plus, the Woovebox can be updated by firmware, and the Pocket Operators cannot. I really enjoy the workflow on Woovebox, and it's not too challenging to get into the basics. With some time and effort, you can really dive deep into the unit. That being said, the unit is really small, and those who have large hands might have trouble using the Woovebox. When it comes to hardware, I also found the value knob to be slightly wiggly, but it's not that bad. Also, Woovebox doesn't have a built-in speaker, which is perfectly fine with me. I prefer having headphones, but this might be a wanted feature for some people. Also, thinking forward, I love the built-in battery, but I'm also considering what it means over time. I have no problems with the battery at this moment, but will it still hold a charge and be viable 5 years down the line? I don't know. The one thing I would also like to see in this box is a built-in mic, so I can record samples on the fly without having to introduce other gear. As for software, these things can be changed in future updates. I would like to be able to listen to my current track as I change the BPM in real time. I'm not sure if currently there is a way to do it, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but being able to listen to the BPM in real time is a feature I want. Along with that, when building a song, I'll sometimes forget what track is populated with the sequence, and having a track blink to let you know that there's something on it is a nice feature to have. This is something that is in the Pocket Operator series, and I think it'd be nice to see that on the Woovebox. Lastly, I'm not sure if this is a bug or not, but I had difficulty changing the song by holding the play button and pressing the track button. Freebeat did not seem to have this issue, so I'm not sure if it's the firmware on my unit or it's because the song slots slots are empty, but it seems like I have some difficulty when I press the play button and I try to switch and change songs. Some future wishlist features include the ability to be able to change the effects to various types of reverb and delay per track. I think that would be interesting. Also, in the long term, making parts of the Woovebox software partially or fully open source would be amazing, so people can upload their own code to it. I think building a strong Woovebox community with open source technology is something that will be great in the long term. I understand there are pros and cons for going open source, but I think this unit will benefit greatly from it. Look at the success and the open source nature of the organelle and Norns, which are two pieces of gear that people absolutely love. Overall, the Woovebox is an impressive little box that can go very deep. It has many features that I wished pocket operators had, such as MIDI, effects per track, the BPM divisor, randomization, probability, polyphony, and so much more. Because of its small size, I will be taking the Woovebox on my next trip. I actually did a 3-month trip to Japan earlier this year, and I took a couple of pocket operators with me. But I broke one a few weeks into the trip. However, the Woovebox comes with a hard case, so I feel much better traveling with it. The Woovebox retails for $249 USD, and it is currently out of stock, but more stock is expected in late October 2023. Personally, I think the price is fair considering all the stuff I can do. I mean, look at the list of features. It also is made in small batches by one developer from Australia, so consider that when looking at the price. Woovebox is made by a single developer named Evu, who is passionate and striving to make the best gear possible. Personally, I love supporting small creators who have a vision such as Evo, and I hope you will also feel the same. If you are interested in a unit, I suggest being put on the Woovebox mailing list on their site to stay up to date. I'll also leave a link to where you can purchase the Woovebox down below. So, moving forward, I think a series of shorter videos on specific Woovebox features is the best way to make content on the unit as I get to know it better. Since the Woovebox can do so much and this video is just scratching the surface, I haven't talked about WoovConnect arpeggio, scale, modes, the different sidechain compressions, lo-fi vintage analog digital emulation, Bluetooth connectivity, and so much more. Let me know what Woovebox features you want me to cover in the future down in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching.